What if we wanted to do like formal operations stuff with the child who's in the concrete operations stage? We can't do it. We can't have a first grader thinking about how to create world peace. My name is Joseph Schroer. I teach human development and learning and assessment here in the College of Education. So in my class, Human Development and Learning, we learn about different areas of development. And these different areas, physical, cognitive, social, emotional, and linguistic development, we take those ideas as stage theories. So for example, we might learn about Piaget's stages of cognitive development. So when we see a pre-operations child in a preschool setting, we know that it's perfectly normal for them to dress up and role play, to use blocks to make forts and to play hide and go seek, but maybe be bad at it. Then we look at elementary school where we have the concrete operations child. They're able to order things. You might get smallest to biggest pumpkins, and then they can reverse their thinking. They can go biggest to smallest. They master conservation, all sorts of wonderful things that the elementary school child can do. Then we can move up into the formal operations child, which is our middle school, high school child, where they're thinking hypothetically about the future. So we use these development theories, especially Piaget's stages of cognitive development, to help us understand what is developmentally appropriate practice, and to understand where the child is coming from and use what they know and what they're able to do in order to create activities that are going to be effective for learning. Let's take a child in the concrete operations stage. This is your typical first grader, perhaps, okay? What we might do is we might ask the child to learn how to sabotage, which is to be able to recognize the numbers on your die. So 1 dot, 2 dots, 3 dots, 4 dots, and so forth, right? So they have to be able to recognize them, but then they also have to be able to order them, and then they have to be able to kind of reverse their thinking too, especially if they're rolling the die and they get something different, or they're moving on a game board forward and then backward, right? They have to be able to figure out these things. And then let's even take a next step into math. Like when we think about math, we think about 2 + 1 = 3, but what happens if we put a blank in there? Are children able to actually do that? Well, yeah, of course, at first grade they are. But that's not an activity that we would do with a preschooler. They might be able to order those numbers on the die, 1, 2, 3, but ask them to go backwards with it, not gonna happen. Ask them to fill in a blank, 2 + what = 3? It's gonna be really, really difficult. What if we wanted to do like formal operations stuff with the child who's in the concrete operations stage? We can't do it. We can't have a first grader thinking about how to create world peace. It's almost impossible for their minds to wrap around it when they're still learning things like the earth goes around the sun. If we understand these stages of development, then we're gonna understand what children can do and what they're not able to do too. Well, we need to know these in order to have good developmentally appropriate practice and know what's right for kids at every stage and every grade.